So good morning, guys. I hope you're all well out there and keeping safe. So my name is Victor. We hope you can all hear me also. So okay. So we'll begin our class mutual.
So that they can listen to you.
Mutual. Okay. They're still coming in.
But keep the chat on. If someone wants to talk, you read the chat, then you unmute them later.
Okay.
Even me want to join this Zoom.
Okay, just join. So guys, welcome. I promised you guys we're going to have a class today on Thursday. On Tuesday, sorry guys, there was a small, technical problem. You couldn't hear me, but I hope now I'm audible. So kindly just message me down here. If you can't hear me, just let me know. Yes, we can. Good morning too. So today's class, we will finish up on fundamental analysis. And also I'll go through maybe a little bit of charts and what has been happening, in the markets. So let me go straight to, let me share my screen so that we can begin immediately. Okay, Joshua, welcome. Sorry, it's my WhatsApp. So welcome, Joshua. Okay, so thank you. So welcome guys. So today I'll be finishing up on fundamental analysis, and I hope you guys at least you will have a good time. So as I continue with class, you can always leave a message, ask question. We'll take maybe half an hour or 45 minutes. So let me just recap what we did on we had done another introduction. I'm going to send you the link. We always record our meetings so that at least everyone can be able to view them online or basically via YouTube. So, just follow me through. What is fundamental? Basically, fundamental analysis usually is how global economic events and basically other news affect financial markets. This has been a big major deal. Even yesterday, there was a big fundamental news that happened on gold. I'm going to tell you what happened. The beginning of the year, we have had a big fundamental news. The catalyst big one was the COVID-19 or the virus, as we've been trying to tackle it, governments and everyone else, hoping all you there, you're keeping safe. So fundamental, basically, fundamental analysis usually encompasses any news event, social force, economic announcement, federal policy change, company earnings, and news. We have also been having a lot of company earnings this week. Apple, I think Tesla, there's also Netflix, PayPal. They have also been releasing their news. So basically, a minute. So guys are still joining. Welcome guys. So as I was saying, fundamental analysis usually encompasses any news event, social force, economic announcement, federal policy change, company earnings, and news. And also perhaps the most important fundamental data usually applicable to Forex market is a country's interest rates. And I had told you for a country's interest rates basically means that they're either raising or cutting the interest rates. You will hear things like hawkish or dovish. When we are saying we are going hawkish, they are raising the interest rates. This is usually when economy is doing very well. If an economy is doing well and there's enough money supply, they have to raise the interest rates to make that currency more attractive to foreign investors out there. So the idea usually behind a fundamental analysis is that if a country's current or economic picture is strong, their current currency should strengthen. And that usually means a strong economy will always attract foreign investment or foreign investors. You usually hear things like FDI or foreign direct investment. These are foreign investors who will come to a country. If the economy is doing well, it's booming and there is enough money, that means in the retail sector, manufacturing sector, and all the other sectors. As the economy keeps doing well, foreign investors will be attracted to this kind of economy. And that is to mean that they'll pump in money. And once they pump in money, of course, the economy will do well, will create jobs and so forth and so forth. So usually we are looking at a country as a whole for the economy regarding to how the currency is doing with other currencies. So a strong economy attracts foreign investment and businesses. This usually means foreigners will purchase a country's currency or invest a business there. A foreign company, we have many foreign companies in our country, so and that will create stronger demand for the currency. Once it creates that stronger demand, which will work to lessen that supply, and that means the value of the currency, or will drive up the value of the currency. This is, for example, if the Australian economy is gaining strength, Australian dollar will increase in value relative to other currencies. And one of the main reasons is because the economy is doing well and it will strengthen. And that means, of course, the government or the central bank will have to raise interest rates to be able to control inflation. What is inflation? Inflation is why bread today or a glass or a liter of milk today is not worth 35 but 50 shillings, for example. So keep coming in, guys. Welcome as we continue. So basically, this is to mean that we have to always look at the country's currency relative to the economy. Higher interest rates usually will attract investors, for example, in Australia. And of course, this will drive the demand for the price of the currency here. So basically, that is it. And we usually have many economic events that usually are able to drive the fundamentals of an economy. One of it is usually called the GDP. So, and GDP basically is gross domestic product. It's the relative value of all goods and services produced in a country. GDP is usually important. It's basically the value of what is that country worth, or basically what is that country usually. It's a report usually released a certain time, 8:30 a.m. on the last day of every quarter. We usually have quarter one, quarter two, quarter three, and quarter four. Every year, for the first 3 months each, usually we have Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. So every quarter this is released, and usually is the aggregate total monetary value of all goods and services that are usually produced by an entire economy during that quarter that has been measured. I believe we're in Q3. Q4 should begin maybe is October, November, December. That would be the last quarter. So right now, I think between now, August, September, in October, no, between June, July, August, we in Q3. Then we also have trade balance, usually the imports and exports. A country has to produce, and once that country produces, it has to sell goods out there. So like us, for example, our biggest commodity, or our biggest, what we produce most is the agricultural products. We do very well in coffee, we do very well in tea and horticultural products. So trade balance usually is the measure of the difference between the imports and exports of tangible goods and services. Anything that that country produces, basically that's trade balance. And we usually look at the level of a country's trade balance, and the changes in exports and imports is usually widely followed, and an important indicator of the overall economic strength of that country. It's better to have more exports than imports, as exports help grow a country's economy. And so you need to produce more, you need to sell more out there than what you're buying. So the more you sell more, of course, you'll have a surplus. Once you have a surplus, you're able to, of course, direct those funds elsewhere. Something else we usually have is usually called CPI, Consumer Price Index. This is a report usually used to measure inflation. As I had talked about inflation, it's released at 30 Eastern Time, around 15th of every month, and will reflect that previous month data. So CPI, or Consumer Price Index, will measure the change in the cost of a bundle of goods and services. Everything a consumer consumes, everything consumed, from your everyday breakfast, from your normal cup of coffee, from that airtime you buy, those are all falling under CPI, or Consumer Price Index. We also have Producer Price Index, is the opposite. Now this is for the producer side. So on Producer Price Index usually is a report also released at 8:30 the same time. And also what it measures is the price of goods at the wholesale level, the price of goods and goods mostly at wholesale level. So to contrast with CPI, PPI will measure how much producers are receiving for goods, while CPI will measure the cost paid by consumers for goods. So basically that's the difference between both producer CPI and PPI. So for PPI, we are looking at goods at the wholesale level. CPI, we are looking at the goods and services at consumer level. We also have another very important indicator, usually called employment indicator. You'll hear of NFP, or non-farm payroll. It's a report that comes on the first Friday of every month, 8:30 Eastern Time. Usually it's an announcement that will include the unemployment rate, and usually is the percentage of the workforce that is unemployed, the number of the jobs created, and also the average hours worked per week, plus the average hourly earnings. So I need you to understand, for employment indicators, this is one of the most important indicator in fundamental analysis, because what will it measure? It will measure the unemployment rate, the people employed versus the people unemployed in the labor market. So we have guys, you know, earning a salary every month, able to have an income. Those are the people who have been employed. The people who have been unemployed are the guys who are not yet having an income or earning an income out there. So basically on employment indicators, we are looking at the number of jobs that have been created for that month, the average hours that the workers are working, and also the average hourly earnings. So this report will usually be able to, is significant to market movement, and you hear traders and analysts talking about NFP or non-farm employment report. It is always the one report each month that has the greatest power to move the markets. At least it moves up to 100 or even 150 pips. It's a very important indicator, and we'll be looking at it as we continue understanding more what fundamental analysis is all about. We also have durable goods. Durable goods usually is a report that gives measurement of how people are spending on long-term assets. You bought a car, a TV, a radio. These are usually durable goods, or something at least will go for more than 2 or 3 years. These are defined as products that are expected to last more than 3 years. And the report also is released at 8:30 Eastern Time around the 26th of each month, and usually is believed to have some insight on the manufacturing industry. We have to always look, how is the manufacturing industry doing? We also have the retail sales index. This one usually comes more often, and you'll usually see it in your economic calendar. Retail sales index will measure goods sold within the retail industry, from the large chains, small local stores, you know, the big wholesalers, the small ones. This is the retail. So the retail sales index usually released by 8:30 Eastern Time around the 12th of every month, and usually reflect data from the previous month, and usually is revised fairly, basically to see how the numbers are doing, how much is being consumed, and how much also is usually at the retail level. So basically that is retail sales index. Housing data, home sales also. This is real estate industry. I believe out there also, most guys are in real estate, or one day want to buy a home, build, whether you're renting or not. Housing data, very important. How does housing data affect fundamental analysis? So for housing data, usually includes the number of new homes that a country began building during that month, and as well as the existing home sales. So every day they are building or constructions, even probably where you live or where you are around, you'll always see a construction coming up. That is usually very important to be able to gauge how an economy is doing according to the housing data. So residential construction activity is a major cause of economic stimulus for a country, and so it's usually followed by forex participants. Existing home sales are a good measure of economic strength of a country as well. Low existing home sales and low new home sales typically usually show a sluggish or a weak economy. So if you have more developments coming up, that is usually to mean it's a stimulus for basically economic development for that country. And then I'll also tackle the last one. It's usually called interest rates, and I had talked about it. And interest rates usually are the main driver. This is usually the main driver for the forex market, as all of the above mentioned economic, they're usually watched by the Federal Open Market Committee in order to gauge the overall health of the economy. And the Fed can use the tools at its disposal to either lower, raise, or leave the interest rates unchanged, depending on the evidence it has gathered for the health of the economy. So interest rates usually are the main driver. So they cut the interest rates on March. It was between March. So let me go to the chart so that at least I'm able to show you what happened. So the interest rates were cut on, that was basically on, just a minute. So interest rates were cut. Let me go to the pound, for example, on H4 and also on D1. So interest rates were cut. Let me go to the economic calendar. So just a minute. Okay, so cool. So let me touch a little bit on the interest rates. So this is my calendar, and interest rates usually you'll find them around down here. So these are the interest rates. So you can see central bank interest rates. So most of them cut the interest rates because COVID hit big time. And when COVID hit, basically that was to mean that money went down, or we didn't have enough money to be able to run. Businesses shut down. There was a lot of, just a minute, sorry guys. So basically it's to mean that they cut the interest rates because COVID hit. Let me show you the graph on SNMP so that you can be able to see what I am talking about. Sorry guys, let me join these guys in. So let me go to SNMP. This is SNMP 500. SNMP 500 usually measures the overall health, or the overall health of the stock market in the US. So as at the moment, was when COVID hit. This was around, let's see, around 19th or 20th of February. So that is when the sell-off happened because of COVID. So this was a big catalyst. So you can see the markets usually just need one catalyst to be able to have a big, so this was the lockdown, and then now recovery started happening slowly as businesses started managing, COVID situation in their countries and governments. So as at the moment, at least the SNMP has been able to recover up to at least 50%. Since February, it has reached its all-time high as at the moment. So at least I got in when the sell-off was happening, and got in also in a buy for the last 2 or 3 months. At least they have made some good progress. So also for the Euro USD, it has also gained, as you can see. Okay, let me bring this here. So for the Euro USD, you can also see it has really gained relatively, because on the Euro now, for the main fundamental that was able to trigger the Euro to move at least up to these 1,000 pips was the stimulus package. They were able to pump in 759 billion euro as basically stimulus package for COVID. So when they did that, Euro was able to raise to go up at least, let me measure for you, 1,080 pips. So right now we are still, waiting, because the idea with this market, there has to always be a catalyst that really moves the market. And I think you can also see the same on the pound. The pound, this is on, let me go on D1 or the daily chart. I think it was the same thing that happened. So this was the sell-off. I think you can be able to see it. This was the sell-off that happened. So then now the recovery at least has been up almost 1,813 pips. So basically that has been the markets generally. And then for oil has been gaining. Oil went to an all-time negative territory of -37 when the crash happened. And now demand was less, and basically suppliers had to pay, guys to take off oil. They had to at least pour 2 million barrels of oil to bring back demand for price of oil. So that has been basically what has been happening. Gold also rose for an all-time high of up to, let's go to gold. I think gold went up to at least 2075. But now gold has been at least on the ranging side, because there has been a sell-off. Yesterday there was a coup in Mali, and that is what caused the big sell-off that happened, because Mali has a lot of reserves of gold that basically France has to rely on. So there's a lot I'm going to talk about on fundamental analysis, but for now I think I'll invite guys for questions. And also we'll be having, we have a $50 challenge. Once you open up at least an account and fund it with $50, the idea usually is to grow it within a week or within 2 weeks, see how much you'll be able to make. But here, we'll be guiding you and making sure at least you're also able to profit more in the market. This is fundamental analysis. I've been following closely the price of gold, oil, and the other currencies. So we'll be able to be here with you, and we'll be able to guide you through and through. So now I have the next 5 minutes now, so that now, guys, you can be able to chat me. Let me see, we have almost 8 people chatting me here. So guys, let me hear what you have to say. The bottom left, see that place of interest rates. Good morning. Yeah, welcome. Morning too. I can hear you. Wonderful. At least today I'm very audible. So we have a $50 challenge, guys. And I need you to inbox me. I think you're all in the WhatsApp group or our Telegram channel. And we'll be doing that challenge at least from today, immediately from today, to be able to see at least how much can you be able to grow within a week, just 1 week alone, depending with all the analysis we'll be giving you. Remember, this is just fundamental analysis alone. We also have technical and sentiment, and those classes usually happen like Zoom, for example. I told you we always have this class on Thursdays and also on Tuesdays from 10:30. So I'll be inviting you as you inbox me. Will be here, and I only need the serious guys who are really, really interested. I'll take you through. At least I have, a couple of 100 or 200, clients that are doing very well. I've both trained them on fundamental, technical, and sentiment. But one of the main important thing I need you guys to understand is that most guys don't understand how fundamentals work, and fundamentals are the most important thing that really move a market. Look at SP, look at the sell-off that happened, look at GBP, look at the buy that happened. Right now we are still at a little bit of resistance. So, and I can be able to show you so many opportunities every week. USD chef, the dollar has been dumping. Look, because now COVID happened, the reserve currency was basically the dollar. Guys had to hold money, and then now since things are moving steadily, there's a vaccine that Russia was able to register the first vaccine for COVID-19. US have a deal with Moderna. Is it not? Yeah, Moderna, 100 million doses, and I think UK is also working on their side. Basically, let's say things are trying to to start coming back slowly. So fundamental or those news that are usually very important. So we don't know which trade will give you, but the idea is you need to always be on the know, or you need to always know what is happening right now. Things happen very fast. With the fundamentals, there's usually so much to think about. Like yesterday, that sell-off was so big on gold. It went, let me at least show you, it went at least up to 1924. And you can imagine, yeah, this was it, 1925. And you can imagine by the time I was leaving the office, I think it was around 2000, 1996, 1997. So you can see, if you really weren't online, or you weren't knowing the know-how of how these fundamentals react, and basically you are not online or didn't know, you'd have missed out on this opportunity. So this is fundamental analysis, guys. So, and I'll also be able to be showing you the demand and supply using volume, and also where you were able to get the news. So for fundamental analysis, I'm going to give you the websites. So I hope, guys, you're online right now. So just check. There is Forex Factory. There is Bloomberg. Yeah, Bloomberg also is a good one. So Bloomberg, there's also an app. You can also get it for Bloomberg. So there's also investing.com. So that is bloomberg.com. We also have just opening the website for you guys to be able to see. So just a minute. These are the places where you get most of these fundamental news. So let me do this. There's also investing.com. So, but this is usually the main one. You can see, like in Bloomberg right now, the main headline, as we check, let's just go back to Bloomberg. So this was the main news that moved gold yesterday. So if you aren't online, you wouldn't really have known what was really happening. So, so just give me, guys, a minute for the, yeah, there it's open. West African leaders meet on Maliku as condemnation grows. So you can see this is the main trending, and you can see everything is on red today. So that was a big negative news. So then also we also have our YouTube channel where you can always subscribe, and also we have Bloomberg on YouTube. You can also get Bloomberg Live on YouTube. So on YouTube, just go check Bloomberg, or just write Bloomberg Live. You'll also be able to be getting these news as they happen. So I think I have less than a minute now. So for now, I think I'll be waiting for you guys to inbox me. Just hit me up on WhatsApp, and also be able to know that we are here for you. We are here to guide you, and we are here to help you grow and be able to become at least profitable. So for now, I'll be waiting for you guys, to inbox me, WhatsApp me, and also be waiting to hear your feedback. I also need to know how you're doing. How is your trade doing? Are you making progress? Are you losing, or are you winning? So basically, what really is happening out there. So I'll be waiting to hear from you, your feedback, so that at least we can be able to continue more on the class. So WhatsApp and Telegram links. So let me give you the WhatsApp link right now. So give me 1 minute. Send me Manny. Philip,
Yes.
can you send